Good afternoon, I'm Dr. Prasad here. I'm Dr. G. Vijay Kumar, Professor, Department of Agriculture Engineering, Sri Shanmuga College of Engineering Technology, Sangagiri. Today we are going to discuss about the topic on soil and water conservation measures by biological measures. So the biological measures can be adopted where the land slope ranges between 0 to 2% slope. And in these practices, we are having different techniques used. One is called contour cultivation, then cropping system, tillage practices, mulching practices, agroforestry, reforestation or agroafforestation, grass to waterways, windbreaks, shelter belts, shifting cultivation. These practices are done as per the cropping cultivation. So this cropping cultivation itself conserve the soil as well as water where the land slope occurs 0 to 2%. So the contour cultivation is nothing but the cultivation practices takes on the contour line. We know that the contour is known as the imaginary line of equal elevations. So this is called contours, and the cultivation practices done on the contour is called contour cultivation. Cropping system is way of different cropping systems are followed. One is called crop rotation, strip cropping, intercropping, or mixed cropping. Crop rotation means we can modify the seasons, the crops based on its season by season. So that we can maintain the soil fertility level. So that is what crop rotation. Strip cropping, we can form a cropping system on strips. So intercropping, we can cultivate two or more crops within the piece of land. So that is what intercropping. Mixed cropping, this is also another, the different two or more crops are mixed on the same area. That is called mixed cropping. And then finally, the tillage practices are done. The mechanical manipulation of the soil is called tillage. So this itself, it's hold the water on the soil particles so that the water holding capacity of the soil is increases. So this conserve the both the soil as well as water. And the for next one is called mulching. Mulching is nothing but it is a practices where we are adapting the soil surface is covered with some materials such as plastic materials or biological materials. The biological materials such as paddy straw or gunny bags or cotton stalks, any kind of stock materials can be covered. So what is that? How the soil and water is conserved here? The concept is just we are covering the soil with covering material so that the direct radiation from the solar is restricted, so that the soil erosion, soil water cannot evaporate, so that the water holding will be increases, and also based on this we can increase the scheduling of irrigation also. So water is conserved, and also the surface is since the surface of the soil is covered, and the rain, when rain occurs or wind occurs, the surface soil will be protected by the covering material, so there is no possibility of erosion. So the mulching technology is very important technology for soil and water conservation. The next one is called agroforestry. The agroforestry means the cultivation of agricultural crops and forestry trees are cultivated in simultaneously. For example, agathi with turmeric. So this absorbs the forest tree crops absorbs the root penetration, and it extends the root penetration so that the soil is also held by the roots on the tree soil. And when we can cultivate the agricultural crops simultaneously. So this practice is known as agroforestry. From this also we can conserve the soil and water. Reforestation or afforestation is the next one. Afforestation is the cultivation of tree crops on hills. That is what afforestation. Reforestation means when we have to reforest the tree crops by when the cutting of trees one by one. So this is the reforestation or afforestation. Even though this is these practices are practiced in hill areas, but the land slope is maintained about 0 to 2% only. And the grass to waterways, the waterways are filled with the grasses, so that this reduces the velocity of the waterways, so the soil erosion will restricted. Then wind breaks or shelter belts are the practices where we are following with for the wind erosion, restricting the wind or conserving the soil from wind erosion. So wind breaks, we have to construct some structure to break the winds. Shelter belts, we can cultivate the tree crops with levels of trees, low height trees, medium height trees, and maximum height trees are cultivated in the same manner with the silt as a silt, so that it restricts the wind blowing towards the direction of flow. So this reduces the soil erosion on wind. And last one is called shifting cultivation. Shifting cultivation is also known as zoom cultivation in Hindi. And shifting cultivation is nothing but this is also takes in the hills. Especially the scheduled tribals will take the cropping cultivation practices. What actually they are doing means um, they will select the land area on the hills, and they will slash and cut the shrub and the trees, tree leaves and the branches of the trees will be cut or slashed, and then next they will fire the slashed or cut materials of the wood materials. Then the area will be cleaned and the direct showing is takes place, and the yielding and the harvesting is takes. So the cycle is continued for 3 years in the same piece of land, and after 3 years of period, then they will move to another area, and another area they will do the same practices and slash and cut the trees branches and all. And next is the process is firing this cut out materials and cleaning the area, then showing this particular area, then maintaining the area, and yielding and taking the harvesting products. uh, and then they will shift to another piece of land after 3 years, and they will do the same process in the another area. And after the three practices are takes place, it will take 9 years. Then they may come back for the first place after 10 years, so that from they only cut or slash these wood material tree materials, so this will this would develop and grown up. So they will again do the same process, and the cultivation will continues as like this. So this is called a shifting cultivation. In these practices we can conserve the soil especially. Okay, this is called shifting cultivation. So this picture shows the all biological measures. First one is called contour forming. So the contour is created based on its land equal elevations of the land, and the cultivation is crop is cultivated on the contour. So this is called contour forming. The next one is called strip cropping. Strip cropping is nothing but the cropping is on strips, crop rotation. We can change the crops based on its season. Mixed cropping, the two or more crops are cultivated in a single piece of land. Cover cropping or mulching. So these we are having the covers on the soil surface. Agroforestry, the forestry and agricultural crops are cultivated. The next one is grass to waterway. The grasses are grown on the waterway so that it reduces the velocity of the water. And mixed cropping, tillage practices, mechanical manipulation of the soil, so it conserves the water. And then this is called mulching practices. We are just covering the soil surface by biological and plastic materials. Then wind breaks, this is called wind breaks. We can break the wind due to growth of tree crops. Shelter belts, this is also the same practice, but we can cultivate a different height of the trees in a simultaneous. When the low wind is takes the lower height of the tree will abrupt the wind. Then medium wind velocity, during the medium wind velocity, the medium crop will even restrict the wind blowing, and higher wind velocity, the high level trees can obstruct the wind, so that in the downstream side of the wind shelter belts, the crops can be safe and the soil cannot move through due to the wind velocity. So So this is the biological measures, and the last one is the shifting cultivation, as I mentioned. Then the tribals choose the new site, then slashing of the trees, then for burning of materials, then cultivation is starts, harvesting is done, then abandonment of the soil after 2 or 3 years. Then they will uh, choose the another location, then they will do this, and another location they will do the same process. After 3 or 4 cycling process, then they may come for next process in the same area. So this is called a shifting cultivation. Thank you.